All right. In this video, I got a quick question for you. It has to do with what you see here. All this is things that have to do with 2025 here. And this past April or May, it was around this time where my nephew was telling me that, he was praying before he went to bed, asking God to show him when the rapture was going to happen. And he said he had a dream and it had to do with, I don't remember now, but it was like April or May 12th. He was like, and this was maybe like 5-7 days before this day. And I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna bet that that's when it's gonna happen, right? And I told him, it's just a dream, buddy, right? That's what I told him. I was like, nope, I don't think that's gonna happen, buddy, right? Just a dream. And later on, there was a guy I later had to block from my channel, Kilroy, who was just like spamming my channel. At one point, he was saying, it was something like July 15th, around that time, he was saying, that's when the rapture is going to happen. And I was like, no, right? He also said within a few days of, at least I think it was him, saying that within a few days, no, I don't think it was him, so never mind that. But yeah, this guy was saying that's when the rapture is going to happen, and it didn't. And then maybe a week or two later, I ended up blocking that guy. And now I have a new person saying that, no, these people, they said, first one was a dream. This one was just, they gave some weird mathematical explanation. And then this person here says God told them September 7th is going to be the rapture. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say, no, it's not. Right? And God didn't tell him that. I'm going to go on a little risk here and say nope. Right? Right? You following? So this one we're going to put GT for God told him. Right? Now, there's a big group that has also been saying for a little bit, September 23rd. And the main reason why they're saying this is because they think that this is the Feast of Trumpets, because that's when the Jews are celebrating the Feast of Trumpets, even though we know that the Jews have been a month early several times in the past, and they're a month early again. And the true Feast of Trumpets is actually October 22nd this year, because that would be the 7th month. That's when the Feast of Trumpets is, at the beginning of the 7th month, right? We're in the 5th month of coming into the 6th month, Elul, right? The Feast of Trumpets is not at the beginning of Elul, the 6th month, right? So, yeah, they are a month early, right? So, I'm going to go out on a limb and say the rapture's not going to happen there either, right? And they're going to say, because right here, another calculation, but we're going to FOT, Feast of Trumpets. And yeah, so my question is, am I being just a Debbie Downer, and am I getting upset that my Lord has delayed his coming, and now I am beating my fellow brothers and sisters, which is, some of them have said that, right? I'm like, hey man, I don't think you got the right timing here. If you think it's the Feast of Trumpets, that's not the Feast of Trumpets, right? And if you think that's the day, there's no reason to believe that's the day Jesus is going to rapture us. I mean, he can even do it right now for all I know, but there's no real good reason to believe that, other than you think it's the Feast of Trumpets. If it was, okay, I could understand it, but it's not, right? And now, I'm not watching for the rapture, and I'm beating my brothers and sisters in Christ because I'm saying this isn't true. And not only that, I'm discouraging everybody, when it's impossible to discourage these people. It's impossible. So I don't know what they're talking about. I haven't discouraged them or anybody else, and there's nobody who has stopped watching the rapture because I told them that the rapture is not going to happen on these days, right? And no one can show me somebody who I've actually discouraged, right? But my question is, when I said, no, buddy, that's not going to happen, was I discouraging them? Was I being this Debbie Downer? And was I telling them not to watch for the rapture because I was saying that the date you picked is not going to be the day? Was I being, like, wrong in doing so? And I mean morally wrong in doing so? And the same thing when the person gave me some math to come up with the July 15th. I don't remember the exact date. I'm going with that because I think it was in July sometime, in the middle of it. Those of you who watched my videos that far back, you probably remember me talking about it, at least in passing. And was I being, like, dismissive and, beating my fellow brothers and sisters when I said, hey, man, that's not going to happen? And we still got, 4 days? Well, counting today, we got 5 days. Well, I guess no, because then the 7th is that 5th day. So, yeah, we got 4 days. The 5th day is September 7th. So, we still got a few days. I mean, it very well could be the 7th. Maybe God really did tell him that the 7th of September is the rapture. Maybe. All right, cool. But am I being just a doubting Thomas here by saying, no, I don't think God told you that? And it's not going to happen then? I'm sure you're giving me a check mark here to say, yes, you did the right thing by dismissing these 3. But when I choose your idol of a day, I'm beating my fellow brothers and sisters in Christ. And, get out of town with that. And not only that, I am, just being a downer and discouraging people from looking. What are you talking about? I'm watching for the rapture, and I'm encouraging everybody to look for the rapture and look at the signs of all around us that this could happen very soon. But doesn't mean we know the actual day. And unless God actually told us the day, I don't think we should be naming a day. Right? Yeah, we could say possibly at the Feast of Trumpets, but I'm not going to say it is. Right? Just like it possibly be at some other feast time. And yeah. I recently watched somebody's short video, somebody I haven't come across before, justifying setting dates. They had a video talking about they set dates and what the Bible sets dates, and you should too. And they said Noah knew the day he was going into the ark, and Elijah knew the day he was going to be taken up. Be like, yeah, you are absolutely correct, sir. Absolutely correct. So I'll tell you what. Did they actually know the day? Yes, they knew the day. Do you? Do you know the day you're going to go up? Do you actually know, or are you actually just speculating? Because I don't recall Noah setting, hey, I think it's going to happen right now, guys, and it doesn't happen. And he just kept telling them, I think maybe this month, at this feast day, at this time, this season, this time right now, okay, this time next year. And then it just kept never happening for 120 freaking years, and then it finally happened. No, he knew when it was going to happen. Right? He knew. Didn't speculate. Elijah. Did Elijah say, I think it's going to happen this day, at this day, and then eventually he's like, I got it right. This happens to be that day. Or did he know all along? And he never gave us a wrong speculation, a wrong guess. So do you not see the difference between the two? Where Noah and Elijah knew the day, and they didn't give any other day except for the day they knew. So unless you know the day, perhaps you shouldn't be throwing days out there, right? You should actually use what the Bible says and say, well, if God told Noah the day and God told Elijah the day, perhaps we should shut up and wait for God to actually tell us the day. And then we will know the day without a doubt. And until then, Just say, it looks like it's soon. We should get ready. Right? It makes the most sense. Instead of doing this nonsense. Because what does all this do? To these people who give me these dates, and they don't happen, I lose respect for them. I don't look at them the same. Right? Like, they're in a hole that they need to dig themselves out of. Like, they need to learn from this lesson of believing these silly things. Right? And a good bunch of you are doing the same thing here. And you've been doing this same thing, a lot of you, for almost 10 years now. And you haven't learned. You know, that's the actual definition of insanity, right? Keep doing the same thing over and over, expecting a different result. I mean, I can play this same game. You know, I can start doing that exact same thing that everybody's doing. Except, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say the rapture's today, right? But if it doesn't happen today, tomorrow, I'm going to say, today's the day. And every time it's today, and it's a new today, I'm going to say the rapture's going to happen today. And guess what? Eventually, I'm going to be right, and I'm going to go, ha! Told you guys! And I'm going to rub it in your face that I got it right. Right? I mean, I can play that silly game you guys are all playing. And I would guarantee win. Because it seems like that's what everybody's doing. Let's try to guess and see who's right, because it'll prove we're closer to God. Right? It seems like that's what they're doing. They're not saying that's what they're doing, but that's what it seems like, right? Trying to prove how close they are to God and how well they have got into the scriptures and studied out all these prophecies and calculations and this, that, and the other thing, right? And they remembered to carry the two and all that. And calculating in the decimal remainders and everything. They did all of it. They crossed their T's, they dotted their I's. They did it all. And they want to show how great they are on what they did. That's what it all seems to be. Right? Because why would you keep doing this over and over and over? Why? I don't get how many times you have to do this before you're like, all right, guys, I don't know when, but I know it's soon. Because look at what's going on in the world. We see things about to happen. And I'm going to make a video about that, but I'm waiting for this day before I make a video I want to make. I'm going to hype it up now. I'm going to make a video on that day. Not that it's going to be some huge, profound news. It's just a video I'm going to wait to make on that day. To bring up a point that I think may actually be important. And it's going to be something that I'm going to be looking for. All right? Because it might be something that is the next sign to show us it's time. It may be. I'm not saying it is. That's why I'm not saying this is some big, crazy news. It's just something I want to talk about on that day. Because I don't think anything other than maybe something Satan has planned will happen this day. I don't think the rapture is going to happen September 23rd. So I'm not going to get caught up in all this hype. I would be happy to be wrong. Right? I would not mind if I'm wrong. Right? And I would apologize to everybody who kept saying this was the day and I didn't believe them. But I hope they would understand why I didn't. Right? But anyway, that is that. The question, just to conclude here, is, was it okay for me to dismiss these people and not be considered beating my brothers and sisters, and not considered a Debbie Downer, and not be considered as somebody who is trying to discourage people from watching? Because if you think it was okay for me to dismiss that, then you can't get upset for me dismissing this as well. All right? Especially when a lot of you, for some reason, you associate Jesus coming as a thief, not with his return, but when he comes and takes the church. So I got to ask you a question. If the rapture is when Jesus comes as a thief, right, and he snatches us all out of the way, wouldn't that mean that the world, the unbelieving world, would have no idea that the day the rapture happens was going to actually be the rapture? Right? Right? Noah no one to go into the ark. Right? But did the world, the unbelieving world, know when he and his family went into the ark and that the door was closed? Did they know? Or did they not realize that he was in the ark after it started raining for the first time ever? Then they went to the ark and realized it's too late. Right? Not to mention when, for example, when Lot, when he was taken out of Sodom and Gomorrah, when he was taken out, the angels blinded the people that were around. So they didn't know that Lot and his family even left. All right? They didn't see it happen. They didn't know the destruction was coming. Just some things to think about there. But I'll bring this big, amazing, profound thing on September 23rd. I'm hyping it. I'm overhyping it. Don't get too excited. But do look out on that day. I may make it on that day, and then they'll end up being posted the next day, so it'll be posted on the 24th. That might be how it plays out. Because that's what I usually do. Like this video, you can see up at the top left, make it on September 3rd. But when I upload this, it's going to come out sometime September 4th. So, with that being said, thank you for your time and attention. This wasn't really a doctrinal thing, so I'm going to end it here. I thought it was going to be shorter, but I ended up rambling and venting, because this is just... it's just stupid. It's like I'm dead, right? Like nobody is listening to the common sense, to anything. I guess it's like what came to me is a movie that I remember when I was a little, Ghost, with Patrick Swayze, where he's dead, he's a ghost, and he's trying to reach his girlfriend Demi Moore, but she can't hear him or see him. And that's what I feel like, a ghost. But I think when all this passes, some people will pay attention. But yeah, I'm just kind of dumbfounded how this is going on. And I guess it's one of those things that has to happen. I guess for the church to be shooken up a little bit, for it to be humbled, right? God's allowing this to happen for a reason. Like getting caught up in this hype storm. I know a big reason why people are believing this because they want to believe it. They really are looking forward to Jesus returning. But they don't realize how they're getting suckered into the art of the deal, where they're believing something simply because they want it to be true. Not because it's actually true. Right? So it's not like these people are necessarily evil, even though I know some of them know that this is not the Feast of Trumpets. They know better because they know how the calendar works. Those people are sneaky snakes, and they should be ashamed of themselves, and they're not. Matter of fact, some of them, once this day passes, they'll start talking about what I've been talking about, saying that the Feast of Trumpets is actually on October 22nd. And they'll just build up the hype again. And then maybe it might happen then, because that's the Feast of Trumpets. But you also got to know it's a 2-day feast, and the last trumpet blast is actually on the second day before sunset. So it would be on the 23rd of October, right? That's another thing to take into consideration. But anyway, thank you for your time and attention. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Take care. I'll see you in the next one, and may God bless you and yours.